Hey, I'm drinking my last burial can. It's the Griddle Imperial Espresso Stout. And this one was canned almost, I guess about like a month and a half ago. So for Imperial Stout, still very fresh. So this one is brewed with some kind of espresso roast coffee. They say it's custom roasted by Asheville's Penny Cup Coffee. And they use lactose sugars. Also, it's 10% alcohol. And I don't know, usually when I've had these big lactose sugared up stouts, they have a million things added to them. I don't know if I've ever had an Imperial Stout with just coffee and lactose, but coffee and lactose are a great combination. I have it like almost every single morning in my coffee, a little bit of cream. And this one has very high ratings. I'm expecting it to be quite tasty. Question is, will it be roastier and more bitter or more sweet and syrupy? Lots of carbonation in this one. Maybe almost too carbonated to really get the full rich mouthfeel at first. Nice looking head. Oh, big coffee aroma. It smells to me like they just added some cold brew to this. They don't say that they do that. I guess they just say the addition of a custom blend of roasted coffee beans. So they don't say that they make a separate batch of cold brew and add it or anything like that. It looks like they just add the beans, but I bet from the smell that they maybe like let the beans just sit in the cold beer. So they're kind of like cold brewing the coffee, but in the beer already, because it doesn't have a bitter, like hot brewed coffee aroma as much. There's still a lot of like milk chocolate mixed in though. It's definitely a pretty strong mocha aroma, but it's got that roasty, espresso char going on, but with plenty of nice sweet chocolatey things going on, which is nice. I feel like it's gonna be kind of balanced, or at least balanced to my tastes. Ooh, that's a lot sweeter than I thought it was gonna be. And the head was nice and creamy too, but there's a good amount of lactose in this one. It's not like their Massacre of the Innocents IPA that doesn't have too much lactose. That one was actually pretty darn bitter and dry for my tastes. This one is very sweet, lots of lingering milk chocolate flavors with some nice charred coffee on the edges. But I'd say the coffee is the biggest thing in the aroma, but on the tongue, it's really milk chocolatey, really rich, velvety. It's not super syrupy and thick. It's only 10%. But the lactose is just adding that extra oomph of body and sweetness that makes it a rather decadent beer. I would say it's pretty dessert-like. Yeah, it's not a super crazy full mouthfeel, but it is velvety, smooth on the tongue. It's just very nice to just let it roll over your tongue. Maybe the high carb right now is making it seem a little bit lighter. Maybe once it warms up and loses some of the bubbles, it'll be a little bit richer on the tongue, a little bit stickier. But it's pretty good as is. It's really drinkable for 10%. Like, I'm not even really noticing that much of a heat in my throat right now. There's no booze flavor. Really easy to go down. It doesn't have any of that weird soy saucy or licorice sort of thing I get from some of the bigger Imperial Stouts that often turns me off to them. This one is definitely updated to today's flavors of the so-called pastry stouts, perhaps, even though it doesn't have a bunch of pastry spices in it, but it's definitely in line with those, and that's why it gets such high ratings, I'm sure. And I do like it, and it's not jet black. Like, you can see a little bit through the edges, because I think if it had a lot of huge dark charred maltiness, it would be too much with the espresso in there. But that is really good. That's a treat. I would give that probably close to a 4.25. And I like that it comes in a 12-ounce can, not a tall boy, because it's hard to drink a whole, tall boy can of a beer like this yourself. Actually, this one would be pretty easy, but I don't know if I want to because of the alcohol and all of the calories. Because the lactose is just like adding pure sugar, basically, to this. And I don't know how much like a beer like this or the average lactose beer. I wonder how much lactose is in there compared to like a small bit of milk, or the amount of milk you put in like a cappuccino or a latte. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. But I know it varies so much. I've had plenty of lactose beers where I barely noticed it, and then some were kind of ruined it for me because it was too sweet. But this one is a very nice beer. Not one-dimensional. At first I thought it was going to be too much coffee, but it's got that nice, rich, thick mouthfeel, and it's done really well. Good job, Burial. Bye.